some important shortcuts, like navigating the viewport. That's what we're going to start with. The first one is just understanding that in order to move around this viewport, you're going to have to press the middle of your mouse. You probably should have a mouse if you're on Blender. If you're using just the pad of like your laptop, it's going to get old very fast. So just keep that in mind. If you have the access to a mouse, it's like the best thing you could do. So I'm just going to press the center of my, like the scrolling, the wheel, right? I'm just going to press down on that, and I can just shift around here and look like just rotate like that. You can see here, this is also another way of like doing the same thing where I just clicked here and I'm able to move around. If you wanted to get closer to this or further away, you just use your wheel on your mouse and you can just do that. You can scroll in, scroll out. It could be different depending on what mouse you have. Sometimes they're like the opposite. But yeah, same thing. Just scroll in or scroll out or shift around like this. Now, if you wanted to kind of like more flatly move around, you'll press the center of your mouse wheel, like your mouse wheel again, and also shift. So that's what's happening. Okay. So get super used to that. It's like super important. If I wanted to look at what the camera's looking at, I'll be pressing 0, numpad 0. Okay, I'm going to do it. That's what we see. Okay. If I wanted to lock the camera to the, like what I'm, like my view, because like if I try to click out right now, like if I try to move, it's just going to snap me out of this camera. See? Now I'm back out here. So what if I want to go with the camera? Like I want to view as the camera's moving. I want to move with the camera. I'm going to go back to numpad 0. You just have to lock it right here. Right? So now I'm locked in. This is super helpful, obviously. It's really good for establishing like shots and stuff, because the viewport's all fine and dandy, but you're not rendering out the whole viewport. You're rendering out just this. You're rendering out the camera view. So that's really important to remember. It's like, this is what you're rendering out. So if I wanted to get out of here, I'll just press 0. And then if I went back in, it's still locked because I just locked it. So I'm going to press 0, get out of there. And one more thing about the camera and like kind of angles and views and stuff is, say I really love this angle that I'm in right now. Like this is it. If I move, it's not going to be as good. To snap your camera to your view, you have to press Control-Alt-0. Okay? Control-Alt-0. And it'll snap right to where you are. We're still in object mode. We've figured out how to kind of navigate the viewport using shortcuts. What happens if you're like having trouble with the shortcuts? Like what do we do now? So there are little buttons on the interface that can help with certain things. So for example, if I wanted to do, if I wanted to look at through the camera, but I was having trouble with, Control-Alt-0, then, and I'm going to escape using 0 again, then I can press this little camera view here, and it'll do exactly what I was just doing there. I mean, just 0. Again, if you toggle over things, it's going to explain exactly what it'll do, and it'll give you the shortcut, which is super helpful. So, for example, like this says toggle the camera view, right? And it's numpad 0. So instead of pressing it, you can just use your keyboard. But if you're having trouble with the keyboard, it's also a good option. This is like move to view. So this is kind of doing what you would be doing if you pressed shift and your mouse, your wheel. And then this here is, I believe it's, yeah, so you can just like come in and come out. So something you might have noticed if you're scrolling in and scrolling out is it's kind of jittery. A way to get around this, if you're not interested in using the button functions, is you just press Control and hold down on your wheel, and you can zoom in and zoom out, and it won't give you that like little jitter. So that's super helpful. It's like very smooth. But yeah, so these are also options if you're feeling like not using the hotkeys. This is like, it changes the perspective. Like this is like orthographic perspective, or like whatever you want. But I prefer it like to look like this, but it totally depends on what you're doing. This might be better for you. Just feels very clinical for me.